Hello, YouTube. It's Tuesday. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the first ever Tuesday Talks with Jazz on the YouTube live platform. I am the first one to not jump ship because that means like I'm leaving my team and I'm never leaving my team. But we're trying to do big things here at Mama's, and we know that in order to do so, we have to leave fear at the wayside and take chances. Hi, Jeannie. Girl, you right on time. It probably just be me and you in here talking today. um, but yes, everyone, welcome to Tuesday Talks with Jazz. Like I was saying before, I am a member of Mama's Cocktail Hour. We are a badass group of four amazing mamas, pretty much just living out or attempting to live out our purpose and still do what we need to do in our daily lives. And we have been having a blast the last few months, really connecting with a lot of fellow mamas and like minded women and men on Instagram. And it's actually been, hello, it's actually been amazing. Super, super amazing. But you know what? We have big plans. Our vision for mamas is really, really big. And we know that in order to do that, in order to reach that, we have to expand our horizons and our platforms. And so we're going to start to make the move on to YouTube. Um, so we're a little nervous about that, but we do believe in what we're doing. And so I'm the first one to take the leap. So I hope you guys had a very beautiful Mother's Day weekend. Um, I hope that everyone was able to celebrate in the way that they were wanting to celebrate it. I mean, I know we are limited in things that we can do, even though we have a little bit more freedom than we did since we've been locked up since last year. For us, Mother's Day was really low key. I have a lot of changes going on in my family dynamic. My mama bought a house, and at 53 years old, she is a proud homeowner. Hi, Nance. And we actually went up to see her house this weekend, and it was amazing. It's a really big deal. My mom had me at 15 years old. She had a total of five of us, and she trooped it out. She struggled, she fought, she studied and worked her way to where she is now. And by the grace of God, she was able to purchase her home. And it is amazing that I got to see my mom do that. She's super proud. She's going to have a place where she can continue to live the rest of her life at and create memories with her grandchildren and us. And it was super exciting to see that. So I was really happy for that. And FYI, my middle sister also closed on a house today. So congratulations to my sister. We were also super excited. She had made the drive up with us to see mom's house, and at the same time, we're all like super excited for her because we knew her closing was coming, and now this weekend we're gonna go up and celebrate with her and see her home. At the same time, Mother's Day had a, it was still bittersweet. Um, you know, my mother-in-law passed away almost a year ago. I can't even believe that it's been that long. And so it was um our first Mother's Day without her. And, you know, my husband was struggling. His brothers were struggling, rightfully so. And so it was sad in the sense that, it's another reminder that she's not here. And even though I take solace in knowing that she's in a better place and she's no longer suffering, you still can't help but feels sad for her boys and her grandchildren, her mom, her family, and us, her daughters, um, for the fact that she's not here. But we keep her alive every day in thought and in our hearts. There's not a day that doesn't go by that we don't speak of her in some way or make a mention, but she's definitely, definitely, definitely missed every single day. So that's pretty much wraps up our Mother's Day weekend. And so I say that to say, once again, shout out to all the wonderful mothers out there. Our job is not easy, and a lot of the times we get overlooked. A lot of the times there's no thank yous, and we don't get no big parade. But at the end of the day, what's most important is that we know that we were blessed with the opportunity to bring life into this world, and we should be grateful every day that we had the opportunity to be mothers, because there's a lot of women, unfortunately, who struggle with the ability to do so. Now, this is a little strange, this dynamic, because IG is, well, I guess because we have more of a following on IG, is a little bit more interactive. So this is a little bit, you know, interesting in the sense of being able to just speak out into space for now. But I was thinking about what it is that I wanted to speak about this week. And it finally came to me very quickly. And what I wanted to speak about this week is something that I have dealt with, and we all have dealt with in some form or another. And that is fear. Everyone has dealt with it. And we have spent a lot of time at Mama's. Oh, pardon the noise in the background. I got a whole dog now. My daughter and my nephew, which you hear screaming for my husband right now in the background. So, mommy stuff. But I wanted to talk about fear. Um, I am someone who has dealt with fear in many different forms throughout my whole entire life. It's no secret um, that I am or consider myself a mental health warrior. I have generalized anxiety disorder, and I suffer from depression. And I don't want to say suffer, I suffered because I'm more in a maintenance part of my life right now. But the struggle is real. You know, even if you don't chronically suffer with it, even if it's something that you may have experienced in certain times in your life because of experiences that you may have, it's really tough. And I know the awareness is very high, especially over the last year, because of the extreme worldwide circumstance we found ourselves in. Everyone was touched in some way when it came to struggling with their mental health, because so many things changed so quickly, and all of a sudden there were so many unknowns, which brings me back to fear. Fear comes really pretty much from the fact that we don't know. It's the unknown a lot of the times that causes us stress, distress, and panic. And like I told you guys, I dealt with fear a lot of different ways. I've dealt with fear when it comes to thoughts that may go on in my head. I've negative thoughts or fearful thoughts. I've dealt with the actual fear of things. Um, I've dealt with fear manifesting itself physically with panic attacks, or maybe what people like to call nervous tics, which is when the fear has taken over your body to the point that it needs to come out some way. And, I used to shake my leg a lot. And yes, Sonia, I am in the healing process. Definitely, definitely in the healing process. Um, and very comfortable in my healing process. And in a way, it's really good to say, oh, I'm comfortable in my healing process, because, for so long it was such a struggle. But you know what they say, what happens when you get too comfortable? Sometimes when you get too comfortable, you forget to do the things that helped you get to that comfortable state. You start to cut corners and maybe in the things that you were doing to help you to get to that better place. And one of the reasons I wanted to speak to you guys about fear is because I realized that that's something that I've been doing. I got to a place where I became super comfortable and I was kind of like gliding through things and I was like, "Oh, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good." And I started to really take start to take a step back on doing certain things that were helping me through some difficult times. And what I started to realize, guys, is that fear started to creep back up and it's starting to creep back up into me again. Now, there could be a lot of reasons for that. Again, anxiety, stress, because I don't know about you guys, but I am over this virtual school. Like, you guys don't seem to understand how over this virtual school I'm in. Now, let me tell you guys, I am so appreciative of the fact that I've had so much time with my baby girl. Like, this in a way was almost a gift in the sense of all the time that we were able to spend with our children, like a gift. And like I had mentioned on the live on Saturday, if it wasn't for the fact that we spent so much time together, I would have never really came to terms and noticed that, she was having some difficulties and struggling with some things in school. And in turn, we were able to get her to where she needed to go. And now we know that she has ADHD and she has certain things that we need to take care of. But for me, I'm struggling with it. It is not easy. It is not easy to not have that separation. And I have fear or worry because I'm being really hard on myself and I'm not cutting myself some slack because I'm becoming overwhelmed, because I'm stressed. I am fearful that I'm not being as good of a parent as I should be. And it sounds crazy when I say it out loud because I know I'm doing my best and it's not a normal circumstance that we find ourselves in. Like, again, I'm not the only one who is dealing with feeling like they're over this whole virtual school and not being able to have their kids go out and go to school and do their activities. Shit, I don't know how people do it with more than one kid. Hazy, like I don't know. But I noticed that the stress and the anxiety of the situation was starting to bring up fear, those old fears that I am not doing well enough as a parent. I'm not doing enough. I'm not giving as much energy and time, which honestly, that's not true. I'm literally in parent mode 24/7. I work from home 3 days out of the 5 days. I work full time. At the same time, I have a child who's in virtual school. I do kick ass in my job. So I'm still giving 175%. At the same time, I'm an assistant teacher trying to make sure that my child is focusing in school and also trying to be sensitive and to the fact that now I know that she's struggling with certain things and trying to put into play the things that the therapist has advised us to do. I don't know what the hell I thought when I brought my puppy into this house. Like, don't get me wrong, I love him. I love him. But why did I think he was gonna be like them dogs on TV that just sit there and they just be on your lap and you just stroke them? He's a whole baby. He's a whole baby. But so now here I am, 38 years old with a whole brand new newborn baby. So, yeah, fear. That's what we're talking about. Yeah, Ginny, it's a whole toddler again. Like, it's crazy. And it's so funny because I thought that, my time was being split before, but now it's like, now I can't even leave the house without somebody being home because he still don't got all his shots. I'm like, what the hell did I get myself into? No, but he does bring a lot of joy into all our lives. But I guess what I wanted to say is that we can't be too comfortable with we can't get too comfortable. If there's something that we're struggling with, if there's something that we found difficult to accomplish or to work through, and we get to a point where we've gone past it, or we've got it under control, we should never get too comfortable, because if we stop doing or practicing or pushing ourselves the way that we were to get to the place where we are now, we're going to regress and fall back into bad habits. Those things can then lead into anxiety, and anxiety is all about fear. And, you know, it was making me sad to come to terms with the fact that, lately I've been struggling with fear, because I thought at first that it was just like me somehow, you know, regressing, or I almost felt like I was being mm, hypocritical, because here I am on here, on the camera, on the reels, on my, IG, spreading all this positivity, and you got to take, life by the horns, and you just got to plow through, and you just got to be brave. But I was still struggling with fear. But let's be realistic. It's always going to be there. Sometimes it's going to be there in the background. You could barely hear it. And sometimes it's going to be in your face. So to act like it doesn't exist, it just is, you're lying to yourself. And that's the hypocrite part. That's what's being hypocritical. We can't be brave if there's nothing happening that requires us to be brave about. So fear is going to be present, because then if that wasn't the case, then we wouldn't need to be brave. We're super excited here at Mamas for the things that we know are coming. We are very proud of what we're doing. We have been working very hard, but there's still fear. Fear, not in the sense that we are not good enough, but fear because it is bringing us to a place that is completely out of our comfort zone. It is bringing us to a place where we have to surrender and just do what we need to do and just follow the vision. It's scary. Your fear has a megaphone. You know what? So does mine. And a lot of people struggle with that. And that's the reason why, we come on here and we be like, girl, boy, you got this. Don't let fear define you. But sometimes we also need to talk about the times when fear does overcome you. When fear manifests itself into anxiety and into stress or lack of sleep. or irritability, or it takes your motivation away in regards to something you're passionate about. Learning to conquer your fear is a very brave and scary thing to do. And it's something that you can do in a grand gesture, or you can just go at it and pick at it every single day. I had to learn that with my anxiety. When I went through my treatment, part of my treatment to help bring my anxiety to a place that was manageable was um, being put into situations that I was fearful of, right? But these situations were like past even more extreme than what I was fearful of. Because the thought process behind it was, well, if you're fearful of point A, but what we're asking you to do is actually past point A all the way to to point C, then if you do get there to point C, then shit, point A is gonna look like nothing, like a walk in the park. So we can't act like fear is not there. The same way we talk about being brave, we have to be able to be open and honest and say, shit, I'm scared. I'm scared. I'm scared that I'm not being a good mom. I'm scared that I'm not being a good wife. I'm scared that I suck at this job. I'm worried that this venture that I'm going on is going to fail. I'm, worried that nobody's ever going to come onto our YouTube. Lies. They will come because we're dope. We don't have to be afraid to say that we're fearful. I mean, it's just as important to talk about those fears and let them out as it is to talk about overcoming them. Like I told you guys, I've been struggling with a lot of fear lately. A lot of it is because I got too comfortable and I need to get myself back on track of doing the things that make me feel better. But also too is by admitting that there's a lot going on right now. I have a lot going on right now and it is overwhelming. And that scares me. And I've come to a point where I've become comfortable to say it scares me and realize that just because I say that it scares me or that it's overwhelming doesn't mean that I'm not going to get past it, doesn't mean that it's going to take away from the happiness these things are bringing me. It's not going to, somehow diminish my ability to do things. No, it's just me being realistic. And I have to, and we have to be able to accept the fact that it is okay to say we're scared. It is okay to say I'm worried. When we say these things out loud and we allow ourselves to feel them, once we do that and we put it out there, then we can start to make a plan on how to deal with it. But if we keep it inside, it's just going to do damage to us. It's going to strip us of our motivation. It's going to be distracting. It can manifest itself in a whole bunch of negative ways. A lot of my fears come from being alone. That's hard. Being alone can be scary. Being alone can be tough. But you got to look at it like this. If you are alone now, you've made it this far. Who's to say that you can't make it even further? You already gotten to this point and you don't know what tomorrow holds. If you begin to open up and talk more about your fear, eventually you'll start to let some of that fear go. And then it'll allow you space to open up, to have space to allow positivity to come in. I wish I could come on here and tell you guys that I had like the secret answer on how to cure fear. I I don't. I'm just a regular old woman like a lot of you guys who deal with pretty much the same everyday things and the stresses that everyone else deals with. But I've learned not to be afraid to speak my feelings. And I hope that in turn, by me being able to speak my feelings, whether you may agree with it or not, it will help or inspire you in some way to be able to speak and discuss your feelings. Maybe not here, but maybe with someone in your life. That can be very difficult not to have someone to talk to and to confide in. I'm a personally a big believer. Not to say that this is a route that you need to go, but I'm a personal believer in counseling, whether it be a faith counselor or an actual therapist, someone who doesn't have a horse in the race in your life, and you can just go and speak to and get all your feelings out. Also, too, maybe it would be good if you let the fear go and try to put yourself out there more in meeting people. And I'm not saying for you to go out there and just meet somebody and start sharing all your business, but maybe meeting some new people in your life. Let me tell you something. I thought I was done making friends. One thing I realized is that it's never too late to make really good friends, because I thought I was done making friends. And then Zeta came into my life. And through Zeta, you know, I found Elise and Nancy, and I really love and care for these women greatly. And I've been able to confide in them in a way that I never thought I would, women at this age in my life. But you have to be open to it. I'm sorry to hear that, Sonia. And you know what? You sounds like you're going through some very difficult times, very, very difficult times. And you know what? Yeah, you can make friends easily. Yes. Making friends, okay. But are you connecting with them in a way where you feel comfortable to open up to them? That's different. And maybe you do need to find someone to be able to speak to, because from what you're stating, that's very, 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 very difficult stuff to go through. And you may need somebody who is not close to you, who can be able to be impartial and help you kind of actually figure out what your feelings and what directions you want to go. So I always say that if it's possible and if it's something you're interested in, definitely seek out a professional, whether it be a faith-based counselor or whether it be a medical professional. And because you have to get yourself together first before you're able to really go out there and establish relationships with others, meaningful relationships. Yeah. Um, so yeah, guys. I know I'm a little more low key today, but I'm gonna be honest. It's been stressful kind of last few days, and it's gonna be like that sometimes. Sometimes you're gonna be, I'm every woman, and then sometimes you're not gonna want to comb your hair, and you be like, "Thank God I have this wonderful mama hat." Which, by the way, guys, if you like this beautiful mama hat and this beautiful mama sweater, please make sure that you check out our Mama's Cocktail Hour website. We have our merch there. Our shirts came in, so we'll be putting them up soon. Or you can just DM at Mama's Cocktail Hour on IG, and we'll give you the details on the merch. Yes, it could have made you stronger. It could have. You know what? Honestly, Sonia, it could have made you stronger. It most likely made you stronger. There's no way that you go through something like that and you don't get stronger. However, there's a difference between getting stronger and being healed. Those are two different things. So that's very, 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 very important that we know. A lot of the times we focus so much on just getting through it that once we feel we've gotten to a place where the sting is not as great or imminent, we don't take the time to kind of step back and unpack what the hell it is that we went through and kind of do an autopsy of the relationship and how we felt and how we're feeling at that moment and how it affected us. So it then comes out in other ways. Like you can be strong, but you got to heal yourself too, because then only half the work is done and you're still somewhat tied to that relationship. Not to say that you still want to be with that person, not to say that you're still longing to be in that situation, but emotionally and mentally, if you haven't unpacked and really dealt with those emotions, especially if it was not a positive relationship and it was tumultuous, you're going to have scars from that. You're definitely going to have scars. So you need to make sure that you allow yourself the opportunity to heal from that. And I think that's something that a lot of us really don't do. We are in a relationship and we go through some shit and we do what we need to do to get ourselves better. But once we do, we don't want to feel that way again. Like, so what do? We ignore those feelings. For example, let me tell you guys, that's what happened in the beginning of my relationship and into the beginning years of my marriage with my husband. My relationship with my son's father was really difficult. It was full of drama, totally toxic. I was dealing with my own issues already coming into that relationship. And then when I left the relationship, I left with my own issues and then all the issues that I started dealing with because of that. So when I finally had the courage and the wherewithal to leave the relationship, I was so focused on being strong and moving forward that I never really dealt with the wounds that I received. And when I got into the relationship with my husband, I realized that at first everything was okay, but because I never really dealt with those deep wounds, the closer and the more serious our relationship became, the more those wounds started to reopen and start to bleed again because I was afraid and I became fearful. because I thought it was going to end up the same way that it was before. And it took us a long time to get our shit together, but we did, thankfully, by the grace of God. But my husband had to unpack his wounds with his first marriage, and I had to unpack my wounds with the relationship that I had with my son's father. I then unpacked and healed and filed for my divorce. I'm That's good, Sonia. That's good. Sonia, it's so crazy because like we love you and we've never met you, but we can just feel your kindness and your spirit, your beautiful spirit, through the messages and the way that you've been so supportive. You met someone awesome, you just taking your time. Girl, take your time and enjoy it. Because if it's for you, it ain't going nowhere. Love is patient, love is kind. Take your time and enjoy it because you deserve it. You definitely, definitely deserve it. It's okay to be fearful, right? Because we got to find that balance. It's okay. We could be afraid. It's okay. We could be afraid. That doesn't mean that we're not going to, you know, let that fear out and then put on our big girl pants and then kick it in the ass. We could be both. We could be both. But yeah, that's what I wanted to share with you guys today. I was a little bit all over the place because like when it comes to fear, it could come so many different ways. And I know for myself, I deal with it in many different forms. Like I said, I'm naturally inclined to be a little bit more anxious than others because I suffer from anxiety. And if I don't catch myself, I can go into a rabbit hole of worries in my head. My girls know that. Um, and at the same time, just everyday stressors or new ventures. Like I said, we're super excited here at Mama's. We know we're gonna do big things, but it's scary. And it does bring fear because it's different. And that means things will have to change. And when things change, you don't really know what that change brings. You pray and you hope that it brings what you want. But let's be realistic. At the end of the day, it is already written. Our purpose was stored enough before we got to this earth, and so was our story, right? So we may want what we want, but only He knows what we need. And so faith means that we're going to walk. We're going to walk into the future and just know that at the end of the day, whatever it is that comes our way, even if it's not what we want, at the end of the day, He knows what we need. And that's scary. Shit. Everybody wants to control everything, especially when you got a bunch of alpha females. But yeah, guys, I just wanted to come on here and tell you guys, look, everyone gets scared sometimes. Everyone is fearful. Everyone gets overwhelmed. Everyone gets stressed out. Like I told you guys, I've been feeling very overwhelmed with the virtual school, and it brings up my old fears. But I gotta remind myself, like, this is an extra, and what's going to say an extraordinary time. We're literally being moms 24 freaking 7, and I need to cut myself some slack, just like a lot of you mamas and dads out there who are going through the same thing. It's easy for us to fall into fear. The devil is a liar, and he will definitely want to add confusion, and negativity into your life because that is what he thrives off of. So we just have to stay grounded, um, stay focused, stay faithful, and know that when you're being attacked and you're being attacked hard, it's because he knows that God is walking with you. He knows that he's walking with you. And the closer that you get to the altar, the more the enemy will come for you. Okay? So let's just be kind to each other. Let's be supportive. Let's be patient. Let's be there for one another when we want to express our feelings and our concerns. There's no good or wrong way to feel. Our feelings are our feelings. And it's important in this day and age that we allow one another to express those feelings. Just like we're there when we want to join in someone who's happy and celebrating that happiness, the same way we should be there for someone when they're feeling down or they're fearful. Being afraid or speaking it out loud does not make you weak. It does not mean that you're not strong. It just means that you've come to the realization that you are only human and that you really need to take inventory of where you at mentally before you go off and be brave. No, shit, you scared, you scared. Get it out your system. Talk to your girlfriend, talk to a therapist, talk to your pastor, talk to your man, talk to your girl, talk to your cousin, write in the journal. Let it out. Let it out. Because I'll tell you a secret. All our asses have something we freaking afraid of, especially within the last year. You can't tell me there's not somebody who's not stressed out or has some worry real going on in their head. It is what it is. So, anyway, you guys, thank you for joining me for Tuesday Talks with Jazz. I hope that you guys enjoyed yourself. I hope that you guys come back next week. Like I said, here at Mamas, we're really striving to push our agenda of women slash man slash people empowerment. We really are focusing on moving on up, and we realize that in order to do that, we really have to make our shift to YouTube. Thank you for everybody who is subscribing. Um, this is the first one of our shows, individual shows that's on the platform. And I really just wanted to take the leap of faith because I really do believe in our mission. I really do believe in our vision. And we really can't do it without you guys being there and showing your support. So please, 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 if you haven't done so already, please hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And please tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend that they can come over to Mama's Cocktail Hour. As you guys know, it's not always mellow and deep, serious conversation all the time. We talk about all things. Sometimes we talk too much, but we definitely know there's something here for everyone. I think with that, I'm going to end it because pretty soon my battery's going to die because, of course, I didn't charge this damn thing. But I really hope to see you all again soon next week. Remember, Tuesday Talks with Jazz will now be on YouTube, 8 p.m. on Tuesdays. And don't forget to look out for At Home with Elise Nicole tomorrow, 5 p.m. for all you guys commuting out there. Elise, are you doing it on IG Live? Well, I guess we'll figure it out later. You guys, show that you guys know. Well, with that, then make sure you look out for us too. For That's Dope on Thursday. Nancy's Serenity Now videos, which she pops up on IG, and our Saturday Night Lives. Until then, guys, I guess I will see you all on the next video. Bye.